The Courtship Season 1, Episode 2. And they say you got to kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince. Well, you know what? Miss Remy, she better pucker up because there's a whole lot of frogs mixed up in this group of men, which they call suitors. We start off with 16, 3 went home last week and another 2 went home this week. But let me tell you, there's a whole lot of social climbers in this group of men, a whole lot of people on this show, I think just trying to get fame. And she's going to have to sift through a lot of these men to get to some quality and who's really on here to really find love. Because I think there's a whole lot of fake and fraudsters on this show. At least we found a little more about Miss Remy, Miss Nicole Remy. You know, before all we knew was that, you know, she was an ex-Seattle Seahawks cheerleader, that she was like a coder, you know, computer programmer. Now we find out she says she likes to read, she likes to run, she likes to have fun. So she seems to be this balance between beauty, brains, and, you know, wanting to have fun. I like her. You know, I really do like her. So we'll see if we could find her a match out of this bunch. But it's getting hard to find. I'm trying to sift through them, y'all, but it's getting hard. This one guy, his name is Mr. Combs. He's from Los Angeles. There's a lot of people, a lot of men in this show are from California. So they definitely must have, you know, heavily recruited in California because there's a lot of men in here from the LA, California area, San Diego. But this guy, Mr. Combs, he's from the LA area. And you know what? I guess he bills himself as a sort of down-to-earth, all-around guy because all he keeps talking about is how he misses corn dogs and Arby's, like he's away on summer camp out here in this little London area. And all he talks about are the foods he misses from back home. I don't know. He seems a little bit too unsophisticated for Miss Remy, to be honest with you. Then you got this Fabio-looking guy. I don't even know why he's still here. I mean, all he talks about is his looks. And we come to find out he's up to some shenanigans. He's so busy flirting with the blonde friend on the show more than he's interested in Miss Remy. So we're going to see next week. But he's already, you know, looking after this other young lady, talking about that she need a blanket and all these other kind of things. So he seems like he's got his eye on the wrong person. All he's doing is taking off his shirt, talking about how tall he is and how good looking he is. I guess he's Fabio. He probably out here trying to get some type of modeling contract to get discovered on this show. He ain't serious. So anyway, they get this in the episode. They get this little sheet that's called the Daily Tea. I guess that's what gives them, you know, what they're going to do for the day. And so for the challenge for this episode was for everybody to get in these boats and row across the lake. They're supposed to take the time to get to know the parents and to get to know Miss Remy. And then at the end of the rowing, the parents pick a date for Miss Remy. They pick one guy, and she's able to go out on a date with this one guy. So it just shows them all getting in the boat and rowing across the lake and just having different conversations with Miss Remy, the parents, the sister, the good friend, girlfriend that she brought along. And so that becomes the little episode. She's up having a conversation with this one of the guys. His name is Mr. King. Everybody goes by Mr. So-and-so. I don't even know what his first name is. But Mr. King, he's in San Diego too, another California dude. But he's actually Dominican. He lived in Providence, Rhode Island. And now I guess he's in San Diego. Real nice, sweet person, but he kind of tells a really heartwarming story about that his mom died, and then 2 months later his brother died, and that was like pretty much his whole family. He's crying, Miss Remy's crying. I actually like that she cried. It really did show that she had a soft heart, and she's not like one of these hardcore women. I really enjoy that part about Miss Remy. It was a bit of a connection because he's Dominican. Miss Remy's dad is from Haiti. So they kind of got that Caribbean connection going on. I thought that was nice. So they had a cute little moment. They really did have a cute little moment between the two of them. On another scene, Fabio, his real name is Mr. Safa, but I call him Fabio, was in the boat with Captain Kim. And, you know, Captain Kim starts telling a story too about, you know, how he's ready to find love and all these other kind of different things. And he's basically saying the last time he was in love, he got his heart broken. I thought he was going to say it was like a couple of years ago. He started talking about it was back when he was in high school. Good Lord, Captain Kim, you've been walking around with all this heartbreak all this time. He started talking about he was in love with his girlfriend since he was in fifth grade. And then when they were 18, basically, you know, she broke off with him when he went off to the military, and his heart has been broken ever since. I'm like, good Lord. I mean, you know, we always hear women's story of heartbreak and how, you know, they get their heart broken by a guy and then they lose trust and they never want to get back on the horse in dating. But let me tell you, I hear it all the time with men. I have encountered so many men who have had stories like Mr. Kim is telling, where their heart was broken when they were young, maybe in their 20s. It wasn't as early as 18, but their 20s. And a lot of these men never recovered. You find some men who are still single in their 40s and they're still talking about their heartbreak from the 20s. It's like they just didn't want to get back on the horse. It's actually really sad to see. Then they show him Mr. Shanklin. You know, he thinks he's boys and men. I think he's on here to get a recording contract or something, because I really actually never really heard him say too many words. He seems like every time he opens his mouth, he's singing some song, turning, and Miss Remy was like, he turned a roll, roll, roll your boat into some sexy R&B ballad. He sure was. I think, like I said, everybody's on here for something, and I think he's on here for a recording contract. Then they had this guy, Mr. Chapman. He's talking about he never misses a sunrise or a sunset. I don't know what that means. You up early in the morning. Maybe that means that's just, I don't really know what he was talking about. Yeah, you never miss a sunrise, you never miss a sunset. I don't know what that means. What's that telling me about you? I don't know. It sounded nice, but it really didn't tell me anything. Then you had this guy named Mr. Mumbly. He's from England, and he's talking about he's never even been in a serious relationship. That's a red flag. I don't know. Once you get to this age 30 and you've never been in a serious relationship, you know what? I don't want to be your first. I do not want to be a guinea pig. To me, that's a red flag. No, it's a no. Mr. Castronova, I think he was a guy that was speaking Italian last week. He just said family is really important to him. But we really haven't learned too much more about him. That's the thing at this stage. There's so many guys, you're not really learning a lot about them. So I'm ready just to narrow this down to maybe 5 people, so we can really learn about these people to see who really will be a good fit for Miss Remy. Then we have Mr. Holland. We find out he's a substitute teacher. She said she liked the fact that, he liked to work with children. I don't know. He's probably not going to be sophisticated enough for Miss Remy. I don't see him. I don't know. I think he's probably just not as ambitious enough. The parents end up liking this man named Mr. Hunter. He tells a story. He kind of grew up on a sailboat for like 7 years of his childhood. His parents decide to just travel around the world, or should I say sail around the world in a sailboat. So he said for like 7 years, him and his sibling, they just went to the Amazon and, Latin America and all these different places sailing. And what he realized was that, being at sea for 7 years and always on the go, he realized he was missing something. He wanted, he misses sort of that home feeling. So anyway, the parents really liked him. They thought that he was, mature and everything. So he ended up being the one that they picked for the single date for Miss Remy. So Miss Remy went on a date with Mr. Hunter, and you know what? She kissed him again. I mean, she kissing all these guys. I really wouldn't have. To me, honestly, I would have wanted her to save her kisses for later on down the line, so the kisses kind of mean something. But right now, it's almost like she's just kissing every guy she goes on a date with. I'm not into that. I think that every stage in dating, kissing, whatever, it means something. And so to me, I would want her to wait until she narrowed it down to a certain amount of men before she just started giving out kisses. But hey, who am I? I guess I'm old school. But I think it will mean something special to the men too, because after Mr. Hunter came back, everyone's like, oh, what'd you do? Get to hold her hand? He didn't want to tell he kissed her, just like Mr. Bochecchio last week kissed her. If these men start talking about, oh, she kissed you too, it ain't gonna feel special no more. That's what I'm saying. I really wish she would have just held out on her kisses and maybe did like the London kiss, the 2 kisses on the cheek or something. Say something, shoot, make it seem special. Anyway, once the dance card came, she picks the lowest guy. She picked Mr. Combs, the guy from LA, and she basically told him he really wasn't on the bottom. It was that she just wanted to get more time to talk to him. I don't know why. Girl, don't pick him. So then the other guy on the list was Mr. Mumbry, like I said, the one with no relationship experience. She also picked Captain Kim, and he was in the bottom the last time. She told him, I still not seeing enough from you. And he was like, well, I spent all that time with your parents trying to impress your parents. And she's like, well, I did appreciate that. So he got to stay. And in the end, Mr. Kessler went home. He was the one from Vancouver, said he liked outdoors. We really didn't know much about him. He went home. And then she also ended up sending home Mr. Lux, which I call WeHo, because he's from West Hollywood, California. He wasn't doing nothing, lackadaisical, like a lot of California guys, laid back, not really aggressive, not really trying to do nothing, like, come to me or whatever kind of thing they be doing out in California. And she's just like, she wasn't feeling it. So she sent him home too. So those 2 went home. So now they're down. I think what that means, they're down to 11 people. So, I'm going to stick with it, but I'm really just to get down to maybe about 5 guys. And then hopefully it'll pick up a little bit more and we'll learn more about the guys. But that's it, y'all. Talk to you later.